this week we're talking about space. So personal space, getting out into space.
Well, in today's episode, the topic is a little bit sensitive, or can be. The main issue, it's not really an issue, it's not a big deal. What do you do when you want your space from your spouse? You obviously love each other and everything is good 99% of the time, but what about that 1% of the time? What do you do for space when you need a little bit of room? Do you go for a walk? Do you have a garage that you can go work in? Go for a bike ride? Well, I do have a bike. It's kind of tucked away, storage trailer that is. And I've got a little workshop in there so I can get away when I need to. It's not a huge deal. We don't get in any fights or anything, but sometimes you just need your own space. We do have 2 televisions, so that's not a big deal. We're not fighting over the remote. She walks the dogs more than I do. Probably 9 to 1 times more than I do. And she's wondering why I came up with this topic. Well, before we got the RV, we had a townhouse. It was 3 levels, lots of room. I had a full garage that I could go and tinker around in the workshop. I had a nice workbench, good work area. And Miriam had her sewing machine if she needed to go and disappear for a little while and maybe read a book or whatever. But in the RV, we don't have that space anymore. We've got roughly 330 square feet, down from just under 1,300. That's a huge difference. Like I said, I had my own workshop, I had my own little garage. It was, I could park one vehicle in there, and then there was still another 20 feet of room that I could have my workbench and do whatever needed to be done. And that's all well and good. And then when you get into the RV, my workshop is in a trailer just not too far from here, like a whole 40 feet. And you can only do so much underneath the trailer or in the pass-through or in the storage areas in cold weather. So that's where the cabin fever comes in. If you've never heard of cabin fever, Google it and you'll be astounded. But yeah, everything works out most of the time. It's just once in a while you just need your own space. Go for a walk, go for a bike ride, go cut some wood, whatever it takes. That's all I've got for now. I'm sure I'll think of more. We've got a few days to go, but talk to you soon.
It's sort of Brent's brainchild, I guess, this week's video. I think he was feeling a little claustrophobic with all the bad weather we've had. So when I need some space, especially when it's a nice day like today, sometimes it takes me a while to get my act together. And I want to make sure I get my yoga in, because after going to the gym this weekend, I feel a little tight, so doing some yoga just makes me feel a whole lot better. So one of the things I like to do is head out with the dogs, and they get exercise, and I get some exercise. Much needed. Anyways, this is one of our favorite trails, one of mine. It's called Chickadee Loop. It's not too far from where where home base is, and I can let Wrigley off and not too many people get upset with me. And the best thing is there isn't a ton of other dogs. So as I was saying, space. This gives the dogs some space too. I mean, they need to be outside way more than they have been in the last few weeks. Yeah, I think old man Winter is getting kicked out by the spring. What do we call spring? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, we're approaching the end of February very quickly here, and I mean, it's still cold. So, yeah, so the dogs need space. And yeah, Brent and I need some space once in a while too. So this is what I do when the trailer starts to feel just a little too small. Get out and do something with the girls. I feel like going to the gym is not really taking advantage of my space because there's too many people there. And sometimes it's just nice to be out on your own, just walking along. And I mean, this is a beautiful forest. The sun is starting to go down, and oh, Wrigley's chasing a bird. And I don't know what Maddie is up to now. Maddie, what are you stopping for? Maddie. Oh, Maddie has a thorn. Maddie stepped on a thorn. She had to take a break. Oh, Wrigley, where are you going? Oh, Wrigley's after the squirrels. Oh. He's after the squirrels and chipmunks. In a minute, I'll have to put Wrigley on the leash because we're going to walk beside the road. And that's... If someone were to go off by on a motorcycle, Wrigley would lose her mind and chase them. So, yeah, we're going to catch up to her and put her on her leash. As I said, sometimes I don't really get my act together or get motivated to get out until sometimes later in the day. And in a way, that's a good thing. So Brent can come home from work. He usually gets home around... He gets off at 3:30. It takes him about a half an hour-ish to get home. And, you know, then it gives him a chance just to kick back and let his brain unravel a little bit before we invade his space with all our to-dos and what we should do and whatever else I think of while he's at work. And sometimes if you bombard a person, when anyone really, when they just come home from work, they it's not very well received. It's like, hey, I got a really great idea I thought of while you were away. It's like they don't care because they still got the day on their shoulders. And for those of you who have to drive home or to your wherever it is you hang your hat through traffic, especially Vancouver traffic, it's not fun. So, and you get there and you're still frazzled from whatever went on during the day or on your trip home. So, those are some of my thoughts on space. And sometimes I feel like I don't really need space, or maybe I just don't realize it. Because I do, with Brent going to work, I spend a lot of time by myself. So, but if I need to get out, can't run anymore, that used to clear my mind. So now I find this is one way to do it. This is what I like to do. Be at one with Mother Nature. Or as close as I can get. Yeah, birds chirping. Wrigley gets to shake her sillies out. Chase a couple of squirrels or chipmunks. Get her nose down to the ground. We haven't actually been in this park for a while because it's been really windy, and this park is subject to branches falling, and there's a warning sign that says it has a weak root system. So I imagine that, yeah, well, there have been trees. I've seen trees over the years when you walk through here after a windstorm. They're down. They are all, there's some that have crashed. And they just leave them, push them off to the side, and let them re-fertilize the soil. There's an old one there. I was noticing there's like a lot of branches that have fallen down, and the tops of the trees just broken off. Yeah, it's enough to knock down some trees that are not very stable. Wrigley, come on! Oh, she's treed a something. Wrigley, come on, let's go. Oh, I see him. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, I found him. Yes, I know. He's in that tree, Wrigley. Yeah, he's halfway up there. I don't think you can see him. He's pretty small and he's right against... Yeah, you can't see them. There is a little squirrel, a little bump on the tree. He's a chipmunk, actually. Wrigley, let's go. Come on. Leave him alone. Wrigley! The great hunter. Come on! Oh, Wrigley. She's finding all the critters. Just when the critters thought it was safe to come out, here comes Wrigley. So, we've been talking a little bit about space and our space.
My space, her space, our space.
The dog space.
Dog space is everywhere.
No, the dogs need space to run around and
Absolutely.
have some fun. I mean, I take Wrigley to the park as long as she doesn't fall off of bridges into mucky messes like she did the other day.
Once every 3 years isn't a bad average.
Yeah, no, it was the first time she did a bonehead move like that. Okay, so we were talking about our own space. So I don't always feel like I need space.
Oh, neither do I. It's just one of those things that once in a while you just need your own.
You gotta get out.
Yeah,
So
escape the asylum.
we don't need a lot of space. Feel like between the two of us,
No,
I feel like we get along pretty good.
I would hope so. Yeah, actually, yeah, we do.
I mean, I get it when Brent comes home from work that he doesn't want to, you know, jump. When I say jump, he probably needs to take a few minutes to unravel,
Yes.
maybe have a beer.
Yeah.
And other than that, yeah, what do you guys do for space when you are just finding that your RV is getting just a little too small, whether you live in it full time or just for that short period of time that you're on holidays? So let us know. That's all we have to say for now. So bye-bye.
Ring that bell for notifications and give us a thumbs up if you like what you see.
And don't forget to subscribe. Really just loves this. I probably could have gotten away wearing my running shoes. I wore my boots. So I wasn't sure how wet the trail was going to be. And we want to get wet. Pretty pink runners. All muddy. Wrigley being such a good girl. Oh, there's a hole in my bag. Not that hole in the bag, Wrigley. You know those trees there, don't you? Because you've been a very good girl today. Okay, you can have more when we get back to the truck. What I wanted to show you is just these trees